and seeing what's going on. And then you're going to be in charge of B, and Nathan's going to be in charge of um, this side of A. And the reason why I'm segregating you guys off in specific spots is because I need you guys to get good in these areas. Because like when we get other guys, we're gonna be shrinking what I'm doing. Like I'm still more than likely gonna have this big of an area, but it's mostly going to be me moving around to try to either like throw nades, try to catch like playing off angles, playing off of your guys' plays type of thing. So focusing oops, more so on your side, on B. The reason why I have all the way up towards half wall, which is right here, is because there's going to be times where you have a good spawn and then you have full util, good weapon, where you're going to want to do an aggressive play. Which then I will more than likely be with you because like doing an aggressive play alone is suicide and it gives the enemy team an advantage, which is what the red is. The red is like enemy territory. They get here before we do. Here, not so much. And in this side of apps, not so much. But this is highly contested. So, like, you can only sit here for about 15 to 20 seconds in the round. If they're doing like a heavy banana take or if they're lurking in alt mid. But on banana, this is pretty much always a hot zone. There's going to be nades, Molotovs, and smokes that are going to be thrown in here, flashes. So anything past half wall is basically suicide. This is not, we're not going to be able to take control of this unless we have the utility and manpower to take it, which then will push them over to this side of the map and we can counter strat against that after we have control over this. But that's a strat for the future when we have enough people to actually accomplish this kind of thing. But for right now, with only 3 of us, we're going to keep things basic and use this as a learning opportunity for us growing in our roles and in our spots. So we have this highlighted in case you want to do an aggressive strat. Typically, that's going to involve a Molotov here and here. This will stop a rush, and if they are rushing, then they'll be landed in these Molotovs. There's going to be a small gap, which they can sit in, which is why after we throw these Molotovs, both you and me will lob a nade into this space, which will guarantee us a free kill. Now, this can only be accomplished if you have a good spawn and that you coordinate it with me. And we can easily get this done. Like, this is Banana 101 utility. And after we do that, the Molotovs dissipate and you smoke right here at half wall. You don't want it bridging over. You want it to stop right at the half wall. So that if anyone tries to sneak through, you have complete visibility to take it. And then when you're holding this smoke, you don't want to be you don't want to be sandbags. And you don't necessarily want to be car. Because like if they throw a good pop flash, you're going to be out in the open, easily taken by the guys that run through this. The only time that you have a guy sandbags is when you have another guy really close here on corner. So like playing in these two positions at the moment aren't good because I'm gonna have to leave. I'm not gonna be able to stay here, and we don't really know because we don't have those other 2 players if people are going to be playing with you at all on B or if they're going to be doing their own thing and fucking pushing every round and dying. We have no idea. So car and sandbags are a no-go. We can't be playing there. But you can play here. This gives you a good angle into the smoke, and when the smoke dissipates, I will also more than likely leave you a smoke if you're by yourself so that you can then smoke here on the fallback. So basically, you're going to smoke here to delay after the Molotovs. And then you're going to just jiggle for info on if they're coming or not. And if they are, you fall back and you smoke right here. And then you're going to be playing in any one of these positions, which is the primary thing that I wanted to talk about on this map, is you have several different spots that you can play from. Now, learning how to play in these spots is going to take a lot of time. There's first oranges, which is right here behind a giant box. You can actually get on top of this box from scaling up this side. And then there's second orange, which is basically like right here. You can sit behind this. You can't really get on top of this unless you jump from first to get on top of here. Not terrible, but you are susceptible to flashes. It's very out in the open. If they find you before you find them, especially if you get flashed, you're dead. You drop down from second. You make a sound cue, which then they know exactly where you are. And thirdly, there's Molotovs that you can throw from car to land here that will spread from first to second orange, which then will push you out, and you're going to get tick damage, which then also gives audio cues so they know exactly where you are. And you're more than likely going to rotate to triple because it's the only safe, ready available angle that you can hide behind, which then you can get mollied out again or even double or triple naded, which is a kill. So I would only really play first or second orange if you have a guy that's here, because then you can play a cross angle from first or second where this guy's watching this way and you're watching this way. So it's a pincer maneuver. And then you also know that they're low on money, so there's not a high chance that they're going to molly you. It's mostly just going to be smokes and pop flashes. So if you're sitting orange, you're going to want it to be a low eco for the enemy so that you can play those cross angles with the guy that's playing your coffins. And then if it is going to be a B call and you guys are doing this cross angle, there's a good chance that you're calling this to the team. So we have a rotate coming through arches to watch that CT flank. Your other two options are going to be dark or triple, which are very good positions. Triple has a lot of variables where you can use the left and right to peek several different angles, like into coffins, into water, which is right here, and then even just straight on the cross. And then you have the right angle where you can actually watch top of orange if they're boosting up. You can watch the cross and even into CT. So like this is very good for just like if you're going to be hitting shots and bobbing and weaving between this, like you can do a lot of shit with triple. But like I said before, you can get mollied and naded here. It's very easy spot to get mollied and naded. So like it's going to be hard to play triple against good teams. And especially if you're going to be using two smokes, one right here and one right here, you're not going to have a smoke to put yourself out, to kind of just chill. So like I said, this is going to be really hard, but getting good at it and getting those first picks and then potentially leading into a second or a third, that's what's going to like really boost your ego and comfortability of playing B, is if you're really good at getting those picks and then making them feel uncomfortable because you are hitting shots, because you are comfortable with these angles, that it's going to make them less likely to throw nades at you, because the more comfortable they are in lining up nades in open spaces, the easier it is for them to take B. This is why B gets shut down so hard, is because like B's hard to hold, especially with how susceptible to nades it is. That's like the biggest fucking reason. Like there's enough angles on this site to hold from. Like there's pillars. There's one right here. There's one right here. You can actually use these pillars as angles to hide from the people moving up here if you know what you're doing and can like use it to your advantage. Like just moving behind these things to make it hard to hit you. There's also the fountain in the middle that a lot of people use actually. They sit behind it. Like you'll see oppers actually sit behind it and just fucking hold this angle for them to just run into. And the same thing, oppers will use dark to do the same shit. Dark will have a an angle on this corner, all the way from here. And Nate uses this all the time when he plays B. He sits here and he's a fucking nuisance. But this is also susceptible to mollies and nades. Dark is like fucking just like triple. It's hard, but there's no escape. There's no escape. You're just stuck in a wall. So dark is definitely harder than triple. This is like a potential death trap. You have the potential of getting frags for sure, but you're more than likely going to get traded. The best spots that I've learned for B are these pillars. Taking advantage of the pillars and then taking advantage of the fountain. These three things right here are going to be your main like course of dividing a team into a series of 1v1s. And with how we're training your aim, you should be able to get these frags like really fucking consistently, especially if we're going to be playing this map this much. Like you're just going to be bobbing and weaving between these fucking three things. And you're going to know exactly how they line up with one another, exactly which spaces are going to be fucking open, what timings you should take in order to peek like the cross into water, or the people holding you from this spot right here, or people pushing up into sight on the ramp. Like you'll be able to start like piecing these things together between the lines, between all of these points. Like with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know it's a lot, but this is, I need you to get comfortable with this. So if you are ever going to play by yourself to get practice in, I want you playing B on Inferno. We're going to focus on one map at a time, and we're going to get good at our spots. Play B. The biggest thing that I would need you to get good at is getting good at bobbing and weaving between these points. Because this is going to be, it's going to be hard to nade you. It's going to be hard to Molotov you because you're constantly moving between points, using each one of these things in order to stay out of enemies' sight lines. So, the blue is for my rotates. I will typically be playing here. Holding the cross into here in case you die, or even on your coffins. So if like I'm coming in already and they're here, I can set up here and then you can set up here. And this is only, like I said, on low ecos. So we're not expecting them to have Molotovs. Because if we hold this cross, they don't have B. And if we know for sure that they're here, we can have Nathan holding from here or here to make sure that they don't push into CT. So I'm either going to be playing your CT or your coffin, which is why I don't want you playing anywhere near here, anywhere near here. Later on, if we fucking discover strats that we want you to take advantage of this space, we'll do that. But for right now, I need you to get good at this. Utilizing this space. Behind these two pillars and behind this. That's the primary objective. As far as defaults go, there should always be 2B, and these Molotovs should always be thrown. And this nade right here by both players should be thrown. This is a default. Whether or not we want to keep this space right here and we throw a smoke right here is dependent on the round, dependent on the two players that are playing here and how they want to set up. They want to play a guy sandbags and a guy on this corner. You can smoke this, although very common on T side. T's will bank a molly off of this wall to land into sandbags. So this gets mollied out. It's not very good to sit sandbags. It throws off T's sometimes if you rarely do it. So if you do it like once a game, you might actually be able to like catch like 3 or 4 people off guard before they kill you, which then still puts us in an advantage so that we can retake this. And then you also get death cam so you can tell us how many other guys are here. But typically playing sandbags consistently is awful. A good eco strategy, though, is playing on top of half wall. You can buy a Mag 7 or even an MP9 right here, have no nades at all. You just spawn in and you start walking at this point, and you just sit. Some players will throw flashes right there so that when their teammates are like looking this way, it'll pop outside of their peripheral so that it doesn't blind them, but it blinds us. And you will get blinded from that right here. But you do get sound cues of them pulling the pins on their flashes. So you know it's coming in because you're so close. So you will be able to hear that. They can throw it from right here. Good teams probably will throw it from right here, but no one's really going to expect you to play from right here. That often. So you can use that kind of strategy to get a few picks on their entry into B, and then we can clean up the rest. That's not a bad strat on like a half buy. It works with 5.7s, it works with Mag 7s, it works with MP9s. Like it's a really good close range cheap weapon spot. I would recommend that you play here with a guy here. Like this spot right here is extremely powerful. It has such an easy escape and it has a clear angle into the push. So this guy can just jiggle. Or he can even stay hidden and just wait for your contact. And then if you get flashed, this guy can swing. So, yeah. Default on defending when you're already in sight is smoking here. I've already said this. This smoke is a default. Like, this is just to delay the take. Some teams will actually throw smokes through it and smoke this anyway, and then throw flashes over CT to flash the entire site while their team is looking this way. Because the flash is popping here, they won't get flashed, but the entire site will. So even if you do smoke this, they can still pop through it, which is why the only thing that really counters this is the coffin guy. we would realistically hopefully have a coffin guy coming in. But like I said, without having a full team yet, there's no guarantee that we'll have this. So even like knowing where in this position this flash will and won't affect these spots is a good thing. And learning that and like, you know, trial and error and figuring out where in here doesn't get flashed by this. That's pretty much it. It's a lot. I understand that. And not everything is going to be super transparent. A lot of it's going to be like figuring it out. And it's going to be fucking rough. It's going to be harder than going into that fucking deathmatch trying to go positive. It's going to be harder. Playing a single site over and over and over again, playing with all of the fucking different angles, figuring out how to fucking hold this shit solo or even with a half-baked teammate. Like, you're just gonna have to kind of like throw in your own ideas. You know what I mean? I know how to play it on paper. I know typically like how I would play it based off of how I have played it in the past. And I also know that it's not 100% successful in any way in any of my strats. I'll hold with an op here, looking into this fucking angle. I'll hold with an op here, looking into the cross. I've played top orange to try to like catch people off guard with an MP9 coming in. I've played on top of this wall right here called Flower Box. You can sit on top of this and then look in because then when the smoke pops, it doesn't block Flower Box. There is a smoke that does, but it has a specific lineup. I've held from coffins onto this, which is probably my most successful way of doing it. Because people are very uncomfortable peeking this. But we want to leave this open for rotates. That's what we really want. And I guess we can actually go over rotates too. If there's no pressure banana and we see 4 guys here, they're either going through apps, through boiler, or through halls. We need to push banana fast. But we don't know the exact amount of people, so you need to be aware of guys here, 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 and in Mexico. Because these are going to be the spots that people are going to be holding for the B flank. You will also have a guy here sometimes, very rarely, and you will have a guy that lurks mid, probably right here, to stop you from taking A. Because still, when they take A, we're more than likely going to have control of all of where Nate's spots are. Which is why I have this as his spots, because these are all of his fallback locations. His default is going to be peeking mid from this angle to try to get a pick here. And then he's going to fall off to this. And then when he misses or gets a pick, whichever, doesn't matter, he's going to fall back here to watch this angle. And then when he gets a pick or misses or whatever the fuck, he falls back all the way to library and watches down here, or even through library, you can see into apps. Or even scan all of site. So like this is going to be how he's playing every time. Every time. And then he's already pretty comfortable with that. He doesn't really utilize all of his space effectively. Like he really needs to make this his primary route. where he starts here, falls back to here, comes to arches, sits here, and then rotates into library. Now they can follow him, so he has to be aware of this flank because he no longer has sight of arches after he's repositioned. But that's the strongest reposition for the op on A. Later on, what we're going to have him to do is like wherever he has a good spawn, we're going to have him try to go get picks. So sometimes it's best if he has a really good spawn to cross over into boiler and actually come into balcony and get the pick into second mid really quick, and then retreat back into A site and then reposition back at his original position. So we're going to play around with that too. And then because you are technically right now the B anchor, we're not going to focus on secondary opping, but that will, like, secondary opping on B Inferno is optimal. And being the rotate with utility and support, it does not suit this position. So having you on B eventually with a secondary op would technically be a viable option. And not just viable, I mean largely successful and extremely impactful. So we will eventually play around with this. But for right now, I really need rifling and you figuring out this spot and getting comfortable with a standard B default, something that you do every single round, because we can take advantage of that repetition because we know what the T's are going to know. They're going to know you throw a Molotov here and here. They're going to expect these. So instead of pushing through this, they're going to sit and delay, or they're going to smoke, which we will have an audio cue that they smoke this and they're taking space. So this is all valuable information. So like if we're not hearing any burn ticks, they're waiting. Or they're going second mid. So like this is good information regardless. They're either, because one, we're going to have Nathan watching bottom mid or lower mid. And he's going to give us calls like they're banana, but we're not hearing any audio ticks with the Molotov, so they're waiting to push. So what that means is someone can set up a flash here, pops, swing. They're going to be out in the open as soon as the Molotov's extinguished because they're going to be taking ground. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like this default where you molly here and molly here, obviously they will become accustomed to it, but we can play off of that information. We know that they know that this is coming every time. So we can make plays based off of their knowledge of that hitting. It's kind of like a counter to a counter, right? So throwing these Molotovs, throwing these HEs, this needs to become an every round thing if we can afford it. Not every round we can. They're going to know what rounds that we're going to be egoing. If they're a good team, they will be able to keep track of our economy, which will divulge into to try to throw them off of that to make us a wild card. We're going to try to throw things in their face by doing stacks, by doing flash, like pop rushes, I guess, with flashes and shit. But for standard rounds, this and this need to be a repetition. And you're you're going to need to play this spot where you jiggle peek this angle. Because this is going to give you your primary information of when they're going to be coming to you. So you have to just play info. If your teammate's like sitting car with an op, because that's the typical standard of what you're going to see if we have randoms with you on B, they're going to be using an op on car. It's just going to happen. And all you're going to do is watch their close. That's how you support an op on car, is you watch their close. Now, they're probably just going to go straight for this, and they're not going to Molotov with you. So the best case scenario is that you molly their close. So if they have good spawns and they're coming up into the op, they're going to be short stopped, and the op can just shoot over the top of the Molotov while they're stuck here. So if that's what your teammate's doing, they're just going straight to car with an op or a scout or whatever the fuck they're using, Molotov, they're close. And if there's dudes here and they're shooting at them, nade over the half wall. You'll do chip damage, you'll clean up their kills, and you'll be supporting them. Afterwards, they stay here, it's their fucking funeral. Because you cannot stay here without nades being on banana. It's not possible. So after the Molotov dissipates, and after like you nade and they get a kill, you get a kill, whatever the fuck, you need to smoke this right away so that he does not die. Because this guy's probably too stupid and too like arrogant to give up this space and stop fighting, that he's just going to die here and you're going to be left alone on B, which is going to be a terrible situation. So it's better to just protect him, whether or not he knows it's for his own good or not. After this molly goes down, you smoke it. Because you're trying to play smart CS, and you're taking advantage of this man like he's your tool.
He's your second life.
Not necessarily. Like he is your personal turret. He shoots at your enemies for you. So you're just going to make sure that he has a better chance at getting those kills so that you have a better chance of protecting B and also winning the round just by throwing these simple nades to help him do this shit. And he's going to do this shit every round. If we're going to be playing with randoms, you're going to have a guy here every fucking round. So Molotov is close. If he sees a guy, lob a nade over, and then as soon as the molly dissipates, you smoke. Hopefully he falls off by that point, but he's more than likely going to sit in front of sandbags, behind sandbags, or close half wall. And all you're going to do is jiggle peek. Right here. You're going to jiggle peek and sit close to him so that you can still trade off of him or even hold his close for when they try to push him. And if they molly him by banking a Molotov here, you're here to hold his cross for him to escape. Now, doing this while he's trying to escape, there's a good chance that you just die here, trying to get him out. So, just a little extra care in that situation when your sandbags guy gets mollied and you're trying to bail him out. You've already used your smoke, nade, and HE. You can throw a flash in front of sandbags to try to get this guy out more safely. But obviously, when the Molotov hits and he's already running out, they're already spraying at him. So, like, you kind of just need to come out, shoot at them to give him a window to get out. So that's going to be your default. But if this guy dies, you retreat. Smoke here, and then play your angles. You won't find an angle here that you won't get flashed. You won't be mollied. You won't be naded in this position.
Sit behind pillar.
That's what I'm telling him. There's 3 pillars that you can work off of on B site. And if you use all 3 of them, you'll be an expert at B. Sitting triple, sitting dark, sitting either oranges will eventually get you killed. You'll get weeded out and you will die. But if you can segregate 1v1s between these 3 points, you are a god at B. You are a god. Are you following for the most part, or is this mostly just gibberish?
No, this is good.
Like I said, over the information that you're going to be feeding me, I will be somewhere around it in this area. Typically off rotates and how close they are, you're going to have to tell me if there's a smoke here, if they're delayed, and if they're popping through. If they're popping through, I will Molotov here, which will make it harder to get onto B site towards you, and it'll give you a little bit more time to kind of like try to segregate fights, especially if a guy gets stuck here while his team is still over here. You can kind of like use this angle right here to segregate a fight into him while you're completely safe from his allies or teammates on this side.
Say his second guy dies and he hears most of the enemy team in Banana. Is he falling back and waiting for us to rotate over, or is he just trying to buy us time?
No, he has to stay alive. B anchor stays alive and buys time.
That's
He
what I'm
doesn't-
saying. Like, is he falling
He
back
doesn't
into
die.
CT Cross and Church?
No. That is a rotator position. If you are the B anchor and you're going into CT, you are giving up sight and you are losing us around. That is a huge mistake. I see it way too often, and it literally hurts my heart. It hurts me inside. Whenever I see a B anchor do this, they give up sight like that because they don't want to die. Like, it's horrendous. Don't do that. This is why I have it walled off on this image. You don't go
Gotcha.
CT. The anchors do not go CT. You fall back and you hold sight. You use these angles, stay alive. Do not die. In the beginning, you're gonna die a lot. Don't get frustrated. I will do my best to not get frustrated. You know how competitive I am. I will do my best, but I will not flame you for dying for attempting to do what we've talked about. And there's a good chance that you won't vibe with this shit, and it'll make you fucking hate this shit. So like, if this doesn't work, move on to something else and try something else. Try to trust your gut and try to like solve this equation yourself. Like, there's nothing better than using trial and error in this situation, which is why I highlighted all of this shit. Is like, this area is literally yours to play with. Find the shit that works for you. But I guarantee you, if you are able to make this area here work, you will master this site. Because most of your utility is going to be going to Banana. The only thing that you should have left in this situation right here are flashes. That's it. Or even nades that you picked up from your dead teammate. Which you only get to pick up one, so it's more than likely going to be it could be anyone. Who fucking knows? It could be a fucking decoy. Use
Best
it.
case scenario, he holds it. Second best case scenario, he takes one out with.
That's the point.
Yeah.
A great anchor will always take at least one. At least one. The best anchors will take out at least 2.
And or
Because-
get them low enough where they're one shot. Right.
and will delay fast. Will delay enough for the enemy for their teammates to be there to get the trade almost immediately. But like I said, we'll get into that after we actually put this shit into practice. And I'm not sure if Nate's able to actually fucking pay attention to this shit because are you on lunch right now or are you like on your way home?
No, I'll be home in about 20 minutes.
Okay, so you're on your way home.
Yeah.
I have a spot. I have a spot highlighted for you that I need you to abide by.
Well, just talk it out because I'm driving, so I'm not looking at the screen. But
Yeah. So
I can.
on Inferno, you play mid. You're the primary op. You will, if you have a good spawn, you will go for a pick. So, like I've shown you before, if you have a really good spawn, you'll peek into T ramp. If you have a poor spawn, you have enough time to get to mid to watch the cross into lower mid, or even the jump into Mexico.
Yeah.
So you'll hold that until like about 10 seconds. If nobody peeks, you fall off because they could be second mid peeking you from the left-hand side, which you're not going to be prepared for. But you can also fall back to a position where you are prepared for it and you can hold alt mid and the close mid push at the same time, which will only work if you have a guy that has presence either in apps or is holding boiler for you at a good angle so that they can't pick you off from inside boiler. Because if you're holding from that position into like from mid into alt mid, holding that cross from there, you are visible to boiler and you will get picked. So you have to have a guy here watching that. Unless you play the timings right, unless you have the timings down, you could play that by yourself and fall off before they have the ability to peek you. So you have to have the timings down.
That's what I'm doing 98% of the time. If I don't have the spot to peak ramp, I'm checking down mid and then I'm angling off to watch alt mid and I'm listening for the molly. Because if they're gonna go up into apps, 9 times out of 10 they're throwing that molly. I mean, well, they should be throwing that every round, but especially if they're gonna try to push into apps, they're gonna molly that. So I listen for that molly. And if I don't hear that, then I'm like, all right, well, I can stay here a little bit longer. And
Okay.
98% of the time with randoms, at least, someone's always running up into boiler anyways. So yeah, I'm doing that right now.
But
And then
what
I
I'm
fall
not
back to that
seeing,
corner.
what I'm not seeing though, is that when you're on long and you're watching into mid at that angle that I showed you, where there's like that little like gap in the brick, so you get a little extra space right there, and if you shoot in that gap, it hits them in the chest. After you hold from there and you lose the space in arch side mid, you need to fall into arches for the cross into.
And that's what I.
Not always. Not enough. Like this needs to be your primary fallback. It has to happen almost every time they take. And then after that, you need to wrap into CT into library.
Yep.
And like obviously you'll be able to hear them if they're chasing you. So you'll be able to watch into CT. You'll be able to give Jesse a comm saying, hey, they could wrap you. Careful CT. Or if they smoke off arches because you went there, then you can watch from library into long, or you can watch from library into site, or you can watch library into apps. Because realistically,
Yep.
we should still have people on A, even though we both know that a lot of our teammates are going to go
That
apps
never
really
happens.
early. They're going to go apps
And
really
die.
early and die. But in this scenario, we should have a pit player at this point. We should have pit.
Yeah.
So you and pit can functionally work together to prevent them from getting to site by pit
Right.
either watching balcony into apps and then you watching the cross from library, or pit watching short while you watch his push from balcony. So
Yeah.
either or. And then if things are really good, you have a guy pit, you're in library, and then you have a guy in sight, more than likely stacked up on the box looking at default.
Yep.
That's going to be like the best case scenario. But obviously, that's not always going to happen. If we manage to actually get two other dudes, it'll happen a lot more often.
Would it be more beneficial for having the guy on site, or if things are going really well, having dude under porch with pit in library? So I could
No.
then still watch long. Pit could watch apps, and porch could watch the rotate up through mid.
Technically, yes, but we need a lot more space. So if they smoke off porch and they all go into long, what can we possibly take from that? If they're smoking porch, what's the most likely case scenario?
They're either wrapping around arches into back of A, or they're pushing through to wrap B.
So the most likely they're wrapping B. That hands down. They're going to be wrapping B. There's no potential in wrapping A unless they have a Halls player. If they have complete apps control, we have to keep that in mind that they're going to be wrapping into A because they have an apps pop. They have an apps pop. But that only works if apps kills our pit player.
Right.
So it's unlikely because pit has an advantage into apps. So like the fundamentally best decision that they can make when they take long control and they smoked off porch is to wrap B. It just is. And then if that's the case, we also have information that they're going to have guys banana. One or two. And I have one or two guys banana lurking to fucking split push B from CT and banana, which is also fundamentally a problem. So we're going to have to get really good at understanding these possibilities and then accumulating information and reacting to it, while
Yeah.
also keeping our lives and making the best decisions that we can make. Because in this scenario, we're hoping that I'm alive, that I'm making the best decision, where I'm going to be at on the map in order to actually execute on this shit. Because if they're wrapping CT, we get that information. I'm going to be in church. They're wrapping A. I probably won't be anywhere in A site. I can't really think of me being there unless maybe I'm short. And if I am short and they're wrapping A, I'm going to try to take boiler so that I can prevent the apps pop from even starting. Or I even lurk through this smoke. And they are gambles, but in these kinds of scenarios, you kind of have to make the fucking make or break it kind of thing. Because at the end of the day, we should still have a pit guy, and we do have U library. And right now, the most dangerous fucking spot in an A crunch is going to be library. Even in a B wrap is going to be library.
You wouldn't say it's pit?
No. If it's an A crunch, they have to deal with you in library.
They have to deal with me in library, but they also, I mean, pit guy just gets fucked because he
No.
gets mollied and naded out.
So he's only fucked at this point in time by the apps player that he has an advantage towards. But in order for the long crunch to actually get to the pit player, they have to go through you first. So what they're going to do in order to get rid of you is they're going to send some people arches while having people watch you from long. And you have to be aware of this, especially if we have previous comms that there's dudes in apps, that they're going to flank you. They're going to come from behind you to clear you out in order to actually get into around A to clear out pit. They have to clear you before they get to the pit player. Pit player is the safest fucking guy on this site in an A crunch. The A site guy is going to get fucked before the pit player. The library guy is going to get fucked before the pit player. The only guy that's like really, really safe is going to be a guy who, if there is a guy on porch.
If
Because
he doesn't
smoked
get
him
double
off.
swung on him, or if they don't get ballsy and just run through their own smoke.
That's also true, but in that case, if the porch player doesn't get a few kills off that, he is fucking terrible. There's so many fucking spots in around porch that you can dodge flashes in. There's realistically no fucking you should be dying to people popping through their own smoke on short. Unless you're on top of the roof where you're susceptible to every flash. It's like playing on top of that roof is only good against ecos when you know they don't have nades. But
Most times people are clearing under porch before they clear porch roof
yeah, but
because a
good
lot of people don't
teams,
sit on porch.
good teams are going to use flashes that flash both above and below porch. Below porch is going to be hard because you have two pillars that you can dodge flashes with. But on the roof, if they have rifles and they have utility, that guy dies every time. But if it's against an eco where they have pistols, they don't have flashes, and they're popping mid, that guy farms. Because they're immediately clearing under porch, like you said, and their immediate like action isn't to pre-aim the roof. So you would really only play on that roof if you are 100% certain that they're going to be on eco. And it's also good for boiler walkouts too. But that's where I want your fall away to be. And then we're gonna get into certain plays where you peek balcony so you can get an easy pick on second mid. We're gonna go into that. We're going to go into plays where you hold from balcony into halls for the stairs push and apps so that you can get a pick there. We're gonna expand on where you play on A to get easy picks. And this is all gonna come from information on like what they're typically doing on default. Are they taking apps control relatively consistently? Cool. Go back balcony and actually get a pick stairs and make them a little weary about it. Are they going second mid a lot? Did you get a really fucking good spawn? Sick. Go fucking peek balcony with that op. We're gonna get into that a lot more too, because you've already kind of like built a repetition in this spot so that we can start expanding a lot earlier than Jesse. But eventually Jess will more than likely pick up a secondary op if we have excess money and also a guy that can support him on B. Which will more than likely be me. Because since you are the dedicated opper on A, typically you have two other dudes and you have a really safe route of retreat rather than Jesse not necessarily having one on B. So if he ever picks up the op on B, I will have to be there to support him and play his close. But that's where we're gonna start. Is we're gonna get good at the simple shit so that we can expand and actually build a good repertoire on the map.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, Inferno is a CT sided map, and we're losing way too many CT side points.
Yeah.
T side, we're gonna take very, very simple. And this is going to be on every single map until we build like a good default, which typically ends with having 5 people. So we will not have a very good default until we find those 2 guys. But to follow what we're going to be doing is Nathan, you are going to be dedicated mid. You are going to hold that shit for eternity until I tell you to divert your attention elsewhere. And Jesse, you are going to be glued to me at all times. Basically, we're going to try to play off each other to get picks, to gain space, and then try to get information to feel out where they are playing on the map. And then we can decide whether or not we will execute. I will set up nades, and then I will flash you in. That's how we're going to handle our CT and our T. Our T is very simple. It's going to be a small default between 3 players. We're all going to try to support one another. Nathan, use less nades. On Mirage, I don't want you smoking mid. I need you to get your op out and on your sight lines as soon as fucking possible. If anything, I need to fucking be learning these nades. Like you do not. You as the primary op should not be throwing these fucking nades.
That'll take 5 minutes.
I know. I can learn the nades. I'm not doubting myself at all. But like what I'm saying is like you should not be throwing them as the primary op. That's what I'm saying. Don't throw nades. Nades are not your job. Your job is to point and click, and that is it.
Yeah.
The only time that you should throw a nade realistically is if we get pretty advanced in this shit and we start learning insta smokes. That's the only time you throw smoke. Unless you're in a clutch situation and you have to do everything.
Yeah.
Other than that, no nades.
Well, realistically, I should be buying nades and just keeping my HE for myself, right?
Yes. And then also give your nades to us if we need them.
Right.
Yeah, don't throw your own nades. Have us throw your nades. Or me, realistically. Because I don't really want Jesse throwing nades either right now. I need him to just fucking tap heads. The only time that Jesse should be throwing nades is on CT side to suit his own needs. On CT side, I don't even really want you throwing nades either, Nathan. Like, the only nade on CT side Inferno that I need you to throw is a mid smoke. And that's just to delay when you know that they're fucking coming. Or if they smoke off arches, you molly, like, around boiler. Just to slow them down a little bit or even to take a little bit of health.
Yeah, molly boiler, break the arches smoke, and flash out of the corner if they push up into me like I normally have been doing.
Don't play cubby. I know I said there was a good angle there, but don't play cubby. In top CS, dude, it's a fucking death trap. You only play cubby, and typically cubby is going to be a rifler, and it's if you're opping on long corner. You're opping long corner and you have a rifler cubby. Don't play cubby.
I mean, it's good for like 1 round.
That's fine. I'm fine with a gamble round where you fucking do it to throw them off, but never twice.
Because if I'm sitting on the arch's corner, I mean
They start pre-firing you.
that's yeah, they start pre-firing me, so I move over to cubby one round, so they clear that angle, they don't see me, and then they come out a little bit farther, and I just fuck them, or at least the first guy.
Yeah. So I would do that really early on so that they have a lurking thought that it's a possibility that you're there. So they
Yeah,
have to clear it. So like if you do those gamble strats, they need to be very early. Even if like we're super far ahead. Like you just fucking like we won 4 rounds in a row. You already have an op. You have fucking 4,500 in the bank right now. You're gonna have 6K next round. Play the cubby. Do it. So that you add that extra bit of pressure and anxiety that like, oh shit, this guy plays this angle. Right? I'm fine with that. But if you play that angle, you need to fucking tell me so that I can be in a support spot. Like I can be your library. You know what I mean? I
right.
can be there to clean up immediately as soon as you get cleared. Right? So that we
Yeah,
can take advantage of that shitty situation. But um no, yeah. That's just use that gap in the long corner because it's way harder for them to pre-aim you. And on that angle, if they do pre-aim you and they do manage to headshot you, it's going to go through the wall first, and you're going to live with a small amount of HP. And with how fast your reaction time is getting, and it's only going to get faster because of repetition, um, you're going to be able to get out before they get the following shot. Um, is that going to be like that 100% of the time? No, but they won't
I
be
mean,
able to insta kill you, is what I'm saying.
playing any normal
Angle, yeah.
angle, if they get me before I get my one bullet out of my gun, good on them. They were gonna get me regardless. Like
Like, you having
if I'm not sticking out far enough and they just get that perfect bullet into my face, that basically should have was going to happen regardless. So it is what it is at that point.
um I've said everything that I needed to say on this map. But what I said to Jesse before you came in the call is like we're gonna take it one map at a time. And this is part of our original fucking lineup of maps. So we're gonna start with Inferno. We're gonna get really
Well,
good at Inferno.
I'm 5 minutes from being inside my house, so if we want to run some Inferno to put that stuff.
I have to go to bed soon because I do work tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a massive fuck up at work that put us a day and a half behind, so I do have to work Saturday.
Okay.
And we were ahead. We were ahead. And that it was a fucking massive fuck up. So, I'm working 8 hours tomorrow. It's gonna be ass, but extra money in
Eight,
the pocket
8 hours tomorrow being Saturday night or tonight.
tonight, Friday night. And then I
Okay.
get off Saturday morning, and then I'm off the rest of Saturday and Sunday, and then I go into work Sunday night.
Okay.
So I get a day off.
Are you gonna? What's your plan for this afternoon, Jess? Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna ask if he had any questions, but Man's dipped.
Can I see you deathmatch for like 10 minutes before you get off? Because I don't understand how you went positive.
I go positive almost every time I play.
Like I can hold my own when I'm given the chance to be alive. But it blows my mind that you somehow still went positive like that.
I can look at my stats too. Let's see what my highest KD was.
I'm about to hop inside the house, so give me a second.
My highest KD on the nearest between 2024 and 2025 was 1.3.
That's insane.
But I'm pretty sure I got as high as almost 2 at one point. And that's not like immediate by any means. You know what I mean? Like that took some time to get up there. But I've also
Yeah.
ran deathmatch a lot. Like that was my shit for like a while. Like I didn't play any comp. I just fucking got on and deathmatched. Cause like I was just obsessed with trying to get my mechanics up.
Ah, willow. Ano ba this?
All right.
Now that like I took a screenshot a couple days ago when I did it too, and I'm looking at the KDs on here, dude. My shit is far above everyone else other than pros.
far above everyone else. It's crazy. I still got it. It's mostly because I know the angles, but and I know timings.
You streaming that shit? See, in that 15 seconds, I would have died 6 times over from someone spawning behind me.
That was lucky. That was really bad. I hate this one. What a little bitch. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that.
Honestly, rifle headshot only is the worst, in my opinion. Like, pistol headshots only makes sense. Rifle headshots only, like you're defeating the purpose of gunfighting with a rifle.
Oh, I had you, bro. The angle's ass to peak. I had you. Bro, are you fucking kidding me? How many times do I have to shoot this man in the fucking face? It's fun. Oh my god, dude. Sick. Dude, I hate that spawn. That's bullshit too. Also bullshit. It's like one of the things that I'm fucking like upset with is my fucking internet, dude. Because I know that these fuckers are playing with optimal shit. It's fucking. Can't fucking see this man's head. Fucking lagging. I hate that shit so much, dude. That was mine. I killed that guy. Fuck. I hate the P2K sometimes. That's a fucking kill, bro. Where are my bullets? What the fuck? Fucking killed that guy with the first fucking bullet, man. You're such a fucking loser for doing that, bro. Awesome. I feel like I'm also divulging into bad habits.
Being what?
ADing on pistols too much when you don't need to. Because there's no counter strafing. Like, I don't understand. Just like I don't understand how that guy lives for so long. Like, how's that guy not dead? Don't know. We'll never know. Just like how that guy is fucking able to just insta fucking headshot me. Like, it's always a fucking delay, man. Got killed by a guy that was lower. And he gooshes me. That should have been a kill as well. Also should have been a kill. You're such a pussy for sitting in that corner. Move, you fucking twat. That's what I'm talking about. Is like I should be doing more of that, and I was doing more of that. That guy's just dead and just isn't. Dead. Okay. Getting shot from behind. Was going positive. No, I am. I don't understand how that's not a fucking kill. Fuck off. Like, I don't understand how those are kills. And the fucking ones where I'm actually aiming. Like, how is that a kill? fucking ducked already. Like, I guarantee you this is gonna be a different fucking game for me as soon as I get better internet. Like, we'll get into the weapons where I'm good at. You're a pussy. Of course, dude. Just fuck off. Swing too wide. Not aiming. That's some bullshit. You're a pussy. Great. You're such a fucking pooper TV. Fucking body shotting and fucking deagle body shotting dudes like sick, bro. Such fucking good practice, man. Yeah. Fuck out of here, bro. Let's go. That's also bullshit. Shitty ass fucking spawn that shouldn't fucking exist. Shit. Fucking loser. Put the op away if you can't hit your first fucking shot, bro. I have to look away for you to fucking actually hit me, man. That was an accident. Should have killed that guy. Don't understand how I didn't kill that guy sooner. How was that not a headshot?
Just spawn me in the open in mid. That's great.
Like, I am going positive right now. My fucking shoulder and elbow are getting fucking sore, man. Should have killed that guy. That guy. Sick. Not fucking pre-aiming or playing smart. Should have killed that guy. He's knifing me. I'm fucking tired of these fucking fights, man. Nobody fucking peeks. Too tired, bro.
You don't have to do it anymore, brother. I just wanted to watch you for a bit.
I know, I understand. I wasn't saying that as in like I don't want to do this. I'm saying that as an objective standpoint is that my arm's tired, my brain is fatigued. I'm no longer pre-aiming or timing my shots. I'm just peeking and spraying. Like I'm in here now, like I want to practice, but like I'm not putting out good effort. Like when I was playing music and I was playing by myself, practicing this shit, like my peaks were like solid. Like I was thinking properly. I was hitting like crisp shots. My counter strafe was nearly perfect. Should have killed that guy. Don't understand where the fuck my bullets went. That's okay. I think my counter strafe is off. I think that's what's happening. I'm moving before I fucking shoot. Just need to fucking be prepared for these fights without moving. Yeah. Should've killed
Fuck.
me. Fucking hate that gun, dude. I hate that gun with a fucking passion. Gun is fucking stupid. That gun is still stupid by the same fucking guy, just P90ing with it. Zero fucking recoil. So much fun, game. Yeah, make the fucking game super fucking easy with a fucking gun where you can just be infinitely moving and still shooting somewhat accurately. So fucking sick. Should have killed that guy. Should have killed him. You're a pussy. Should have killed that guy. You're a pussy. We've also killed that guy. What was a crazy shot? Should have killed that guy. That guy's a fucking asshole. Don't understand why you use ops in this deathmatch. I
It
guess
would be beneficial for me to op and deathmatch.
in this kind of deathmatch, I don't know. Like, it would be really
Get
only
my reaction
Mm.
time up because I know I'm gonna die instantly if I miss my shot.
Go ahead and be a fucking pussy if you want to be a pussy. I don't give a fuck. Just joking.
No, I'm just saying there would be some benefit to it at least.
I don't think so. I think it'd be a waste of fucking time, to be honest. I think people would disagree with me 100%, but I don't really give a fuck what they think. I think there's more important fundamentals to opping than being reactive, which you can just transplant from doing this shit with rifles. Understand why my spray is so perfect sometimes and then just fucking absolutely fucking whiffs. Like,
Great.
this game's fucking broken with movement, man. Fuck. It'll be like where's the bullet, brother? Averaging 20 kills above my deaths pretty much every game.
Why is that not a headshot?
I asked myself the same question when I fought you. I don't understand how that was a headshot.
better internet.
Well, I am 8 positive right now.
Oh man. Dude, I need that shit. Just remove silence weapons from the game, dude. I'm fucking convinced. Game would be so much better without these fucking guns, bro.
That was a gush? Excuse me?
Remove silence weapons from the game. Remove them. You're. I'm done. I'm done. I just want better internet, man. Just want better internet. That's why you guys gotta frog better than me, because you guys both have better internet than me. You guys gotta fucking get all the kills.
A gush again. It got real quiet. Excuse me? That was my kill. Sure. Yep. There was no one there. What the fuck?
I'm gonna head to bed, homie.
All right. Well, I'm still positive.
Hell yeah.
I did my homework for you. I stayed positive.
Now keep doing it.
Why are we using an MP9?
Because they're pussies.
The only reason for that would be to fucking get your stat track up. If you care about that. Love you, homie.
Love you too, brother. I'm looking for my fucking name.
Huh?
in the- I'm looking for my name in the all-time rankings for points. I thought I'd be higher than this. Over the years of playing this shit.
Well, you took a lot of time off from it.
Yeah, but I'm seeing people who have taken way more time than me off. People who I destroy in these lobbies.
Well, my hand's
Yo.
warmed up. Let's see if I can coordinate it. What's up?
Yeah, I fucked up.
Why?
So I fucking passed out.